In the high-stakes world of business, a single misstep can trigger a catastrophic chain reaction, toppling even the mightiest of empires. It often begins with one small decision, a fleeting moment of doubt, or a simple failure to grasp the future. And before long, what was once an industry titan is reduced to a cautionary tale, a ghost of its former glory. Our first story takes us back to the very beginning of a company that would one day change the world. In 1976, a man named Ronald Wayne stood at a crossroads. As a co-founder of the newly formed Apple Computer, he held a 10% stake in the fledgling enterprise. But fearing the personal financial risks involved, he made a decision. He signed a document, relinquishing his share of the company for a mere $800. It seemed like a safe bet at the time, a way to avoid potential debt. Today, that 10% stake would be worth over $100 billion. We see the legacy of the company he left behind in the bustling crowds of Apple stores, in the iconic designs of the iPhone and MacBook that have defined a generation, and in the staggering reality of a multi-trillion-dollar valuation. Wayne's decision stands as perhaps the most expensive mistake in history, a haunting reminder of the fortunes lost when fear outweighs foresight. Next, we visit the turn of the millennium, a time when Blockbuster reigned supreme. With thousands of stores worldwide, it was the undisputed king of home entertainment. In the year 2000, two entrepreneurs named Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph walked into Blockbuster's headquarters with a proposal. They offered to sell their small mail-order DVD startup, a company called Netflix, for just $50 million. The Blockbuster CEO, however, was dismissive, reportedly struggling to keep from laughing them out of the room. We all know what happened next. The once ubiquitous blue and yellow storefronts of Blockbuster began to vanish, one by one, until only a single store remained as a nostalgic relic. Meanwhile, the simple red Netflix logo became a global symbol for a new era of entertainment. By clinging to its outdated model and laughing off the future of streaming, Blockbuster sealed its own fate, transforming from a giant into a memory. Finally, we turn the clock back to 1975, inside the laboratories of another industry titan, Kodak. An engineer named Steven Sasson presented his bosses with a groundbreaking invention, the world's first digital camera. It was a clunky, toaster-sized device, but it was the future. The executives, however, were terrified. Their entire business model was built on selling film, paper, and chemicals. Fearing this new technology would cannibalize their core business, they buried the project. For decades, the world continued to capture memories on Kodak film, but slowly, the tide began to turn. The familiar click and whir of film cameras were gradually replaced by the silent efficiency of digital sensors and smartphone screens. Kodak, the company that had literally invented the technology that would disrupt its industry, failed to adapt. It clung to the past for too long, and eventually, the very Kodak moment it had popularized passed it by, leaving its iconic logo to fade into irrelevance. These stories are more than just historical blunders. They are powerful lessons. They teach us that in the relentless march of progress, the greatest risk is not embracing innovation, but resisting it. They underscore the critical importance of foresight, adaptability, and the courage to pivot, even when it's uncomfortable. It leaves us with a crucial question. What giant is making its catastrophic mistake right now?